Reggie, I know in the past you've talked about things used to be put in Tupac's name because of credit issues and things like that. I wanted to see because we always have new subscribers, new viewers. I wanted to see if you could talk about that a little bit because I do see in the comments people always say that it was a bad look because all of Tupac's stuff was in Death Row's name.
Yeah. You know what? I got some audio. I don't like to play a lot of stuff, but I got some audio that I heard because y'all know I troll and I listen to YouTube a lot. That I heard recently, and y'all done heard it. I know y'all done heard it thousands of times. But listen to what Tupac said in this particular audio.
My whole life has been turned around. I lost every job. I lost everything, every opportunity. I can't buy cars, can't get rent, can't get none of that. But I'm still a survivor. I'm still coming to court, still smiling, still signing autographs. But soon I'm gonna go crazy.
So this was right before he signed. This was right before, right during the trial, right? So this was in 1994 while he was on Interscope, Interscope Records and stuff like that. And so this was 1994, right before he went into prison. I guess that would have been, October, November of 94, when he allegedly made these statements. He pretty much told y'all, I can't put nothing in my name. I can't rent cars. I can't buy no cars. I can't rent no property or anything. And so Death Row always get a bad rap about why was stuff in y'all name? Why wasn't it in Tupac name? Well, he had did movies then, right? Y'all always tell me in the comment section, he was a major star before he got with Death Row. And so, but he wasn't able to do all of that when he was a year away from being on Death Row. But the status changed. So now he goes to prison, come home in October of 95. So from 11 months, that changed. That supposedly changed where he was able to do stuff, put cars in his name and all that. No, I keep telling you, he had lawsuits and judgments. And so that's why Death Row put things in their name. That's why they had leases. That's why he stayed in a hotel at the Peninsula Hotel with his security and with a Big Psych and one of his other homeboys. He had about 4 rooms at the Peninsula Hotel. Even when he was in town or wasn't in town, it was just like a residency for 2 to 3 months. Then Suge got him a spot on in Death Row name on Wilshire. Got Snoop one as well. He had one himself on Wilshire, a penthouse, which is where all the rich people stay at, in the LA area if you're not going to Beverly Hills or Bel Air. And then later on, now, Calabasas, a lot of y'all know about. But my point to all of this is, by these words of himself and words of his own, I wish y'all would stop giving Suge a bad rap about that. Why nothing in his name? Why? Because he had a whole bunch of lawsuits and judgments that as soon as they would have filed these things or purchased these things, people would have put a lien on it and been able to get it. Y'all hear the game. Y'all know why the game got that issue, got that big judgment against him. Why he don't put anything in his name and stuff. There's plenty of people like that. Tasha K. Y'all hear the stories. Y'all should learn the stories. And so things were getting cleared up. Suge was attempting, with his legal team, meaning Antone, was still dealing with some of his lawyers because he knew of all the judgments and lawsuits. And, Yasmin and all of them were trying to get everything cleared up. And things was getting worked out. But he was only with Death Row for 11 months. 11 months, y'all. So Suge had him still living good, looking good, and things was going to eventually get cleared up. Now, people always like, well, he sold $60 million, $20 million, he was owed this. He died only having, I even heard somebody say $7,000 in his account. Well, if he had that much in his account, he probably didn't want it because you could have went and got a judgment or lien on that particular account if somebody knew what bank he was at. And that'd be more devastating to get your account lien or attached. But he probably had a little bit of money in there to live off and stuff, but he didn't have to pay none of his bills, like rent and all of that, because Death Row paid all of that stuff. My point to you guys is I'm just trying to show why things were the way they were. His first accounting from All Eyes on Me wasn't even due until August. And I'm sure after the videos, the studio time, the security budget and all of that, he would have still been in an unrecouped status. So I know y'all heard stories out there about him arguing or something like that about checks for gridlock. I don't know. I don't know why, where that money went, but I'm sure he didn't want it in his name, or he didn't want it in one of his accounts. Because of why, y'all? That shit would have been attached. Somebody would have, a creditor, he had lawsuits. He had several lawsuits, y'all, that eventually didn't get settled until, unfortunately, after his death. They all got paid and settled after his death. Our boy, Mr. Shakur had a lot of legal issues from his wilding out days from 92 to 95. Y'all gotta go ahead and swallow the pill on that one, y'all. All right? So stop giving Suge a bad rap. Y'all know I've been giving him a bad rap the last few episodes. And but y'all need to stop giving him a bad rap for that, because he really had his best interest at heart, as he had all people's best interest at heart at the time. He really did. It's people that was living like rock stars and he never put out an album that was under his watch on Death Row. Yep.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that one of the reasons why Keisha Moore cited that they got divorced?
Yeah. You're right, because he didn't want her to have all the liens and judgments against her.
Let me fast forward then. You and Tupac were married while he was incarcerated. Mm-hmm. Stayed married for how long?
For exactly. A little under a year.
A little under a year. Mm-hmm. And then the marriage was annulled.
Right.
Why? Tell me what that was all about. You annulled it.
I annulled it.
Why did you do that?
Just for when we were going through difficult, times, but basically for tax reasons and, lawsuits, and it just wasn't working out.
Yeah.
When we said we were going to try it once he was released from jail. We were definitely going to redo it again.
And
he didn't want to mess up her credit and her future and stuff like that. So people, because they go after your wife. So I'm sure that was one of the reasons. I'm sure I'll be honest, he probably got married for the conjugal visits, possible, or for her to be able to take care of stuff, because you need somebody you can trust and control to go and do this stuff on your behalf. I don't know what their relationship or their reasoning for doing that. I think it was for the conjugals, but I don't know. But if he had another 2 or 3 years left in there, which he was scheduled to have, then niggas think about that, and they think like that. But that is why she said she got a divorce or got their marriage annulled, was because she didn't want his legal issues to be attached to her. So good point, John. Good catch.